Hello and welcome to episode 10. Episode 10, double figures. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. No one's asked for it, but here we are. You're still listening. I'm still here. Episode 10 of the Ali Woods broadcast. Now, I've got to say something straight off the bat. If you're watching this on YouTube, you will know already I am wearing an England top. As I'm recording this very special 10th episode, England are currently in the Euros and we're about to play the mighty Swiss. They're going to come down with their Milka chocolate and their fantastic watches. We've got to take them on. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to beat Switzerland. And they bloody love a draw. So, I am obviously excited for this. I'm looking forward to it. This morning, I've been listening to the fantastic tunes of England's football campaigns before. And it's exciting times. It's an exciting time. But at the same time, we could all be listening to this. You could be listening to this. By the time I put this out, we might have been knocked out in a dramatic, more likely embarrassing way. So who knows? Who knows? All I'm saying is, I hope you're listening to this and all the players have played well and Southgate has put a pause on his terrorist campaign to bore the nation to death. And instead we are playing fast, flowing football. Foden, Bellingham linking up. Mainu, the best player in the squad. Is making things happen. But who knows? Maybe Mbola will have just destroyed us. Maybe you don't care. But this is all I got going on today, man. Hope you're doing well. Before we start, the whole episode is not even an episode. Just before we start, I should say, last week I said we could have a new government by this time next week, and here we are. We did it. We did it, everyone. Gorgeous. I would like to say the sun is shining, but the weather's actually got worse. I guess the Tories took their weather machine with them. But we are now out of a Tory government for 14 years. Now, I am not the type of person who believes Labour is good and Conservatives are bad. I'm not that type of person. I mean, in London, it's very popular to be like, hate Tories, no Tories and stuff like that. But, there's nothing wrong with someone can be a very nice, very good person and have Conservative values. But that Tory government was a disgrace. A collection of ghouls and like fat pig porcine men just like sweating over this country, like just taking as much from the pot as they can. Didn't give a fuck. Didn't care about any people. No. Politics got so unserious. I don't know what that was to do with Trump or whatever, but it just became this PR contest between various different poshos, all pretending that they're still super relevant, that they get people. I'm so glad to see the back of it, man. I'm so glad. And hopefully we've got some people in charge now who will at least give a solitary shit about the humans that live in this country. That's all we can hope for, man. That's all we can hope for. I have no idea what they're going to be like. I'm also not a believer that, the Prime Minister is the guy. Like, I know a lot of politics is basically, you're not really voting for a party or policies. You're sort of voting for just like this leader. I'm not really a believer in that. But yeah, hopefully Keir Starmer and the cabinet there will have a better job. I'll tell you what, though. The only, and this is honesty here. The only election I've ever won, guys, where I voted, and I voted for the person who won, was Boris Johnson. Back in 2012. First time I was allowed to vote, 18 years old, London mayor election, and my dad was voting for Boris Johnson. I thought, yeah, sounds cool. It looks fine, yeah, sweet. Looks like a dog animated into human. I'll do me, it's fine. First time voted, I was like, oh, there you go, vote. That's the only time I've won before. I obviously regret that decision. Now I know more about who Boris Johnson is. And this is the first time in 12 years. First time in 12 years I've won the vote. And it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous feeling. Oh, It's exciting. Oh, man. So, a new dawn has broken. Maybe England are through to the semi-finals of the Euros when you're listening to this. Maybe when you're listening to this, we're through to the finals. Who knows? But until then, we've got a new government. This is good times. Good times, man. I want to say it's been a great week for me, man. I'm not going to lie. It's been a great week. Professionally, it's been awesome. You know, I mean, well, you could tie the England going through to the quarters in this week as well, and potentially semis, and also Conservatives getting dumped out. And getting dumped out, by the way, properly dumped out, was great. Also, by the tangent, why I don't... So many people voting reform in this country, man. So many people. Love it. They love reform, man. I don't get it. Because the point of reform is the same. It's the same philosophy as Brexit, isn't it? Which happened. Same philosophy as Brexit. And that happened, and things got worse. So I don't understand where the common sense is. Controlling your borders. That was the whole point of Brexit. Immigration's gone up, so I don't even understand where you're getting from that. I truly think it's a vote for people who, they're just a bit like, this country's full. This country's full. Maybe they don't like non-white people. I don't know, man. I think it's sad actually when I see that. And also only 50 to 55% of people turning up to vote. What's going on? Why aren't you voting? I don't get it. Maybe it's just like the bubbles and the circles you roll with. Maybe like in all your circle, no one's voting, no one cares. Everyone thinks, it doesn't matter. It's all going to be the same. And I can understand that nihilism, but vote at least. Vote so then you can complain. Vote. If you can't vote, if you don't vote, you can't complain. That's the whole point of voting, is so that you can say, these guys are shit. If anyone complains and they haven't voted, pipe down. So, it's been a good week, man. Not gonna lie. So, Monday, I've been writing this script, which has been cool. Just a sort of idea that I had. A lot of it based around my dad. So, been writing that script, and you know what? It's one of those where it's like it's a bit on the back burner. It's no deadline for what's gonna happen with it. I've shown it to a couple of people. Anyway, like it's got some producers involved now, which is nice. But like, you know what? I think, guys, I say this sort of stuff. This is the sort of stuff, I was got producers involved. That when I was starting out in comedy, 6-7 years ago, when I was like thinking, okay, I want to be a comedian now. These sentences would excite me so much. It'd be so tantalizing. You're doing a script with the producers involved. Oh my god! You're gonna be a huge star. That's amazing. And then as you sort of get further up in the industry, you realise how slow all these processes are. How people say one thing, do another thing. How hard it is to get things made, and then when it gets made, how hard it is to get people to watch it. It's not quite as exciting. And I think maybe it's my own insecurity, maybe just trying to play it down, trying to not get too hyped, because I'm a bit of a fantasist. So, I get one piece of good news, I'm like, oh my god, this is going to be it, and then I'm going to be here. And then suddenly, within 2 seconds of thought, I'm on stage at the sort of Hollywood Bowl, and I'm like winning my Oscar and stuff like that, which is not bad. It's not a bad thing to be. It's not I think that could be quite positive. I think it's a good thing to think positively. I don't want to be one of those people who just, anytime they get any good news, it's all going to end in shit anyway. We're all going to die. Like, I don't really like that philosophy at all. I think that's kind of quite a sad way to live your life. And I can understand maybe that's a coping mechanism where people just think, what's the point of anything? So then maybe it means that there's a little bit of weight lifted off their shoulders. But I think one of the best parts of life is truly believing that it's going to get better, man. Because otherwise, what are you waiting for? What are you believing in? That every year is going to get worse? So I'm a big believer in positive mindset, but I can get a bit of fantasy anyway. So then these producers set up this meeting with this guy, and I don't even know how TV works. So they're saying, oh, he could be the showrunner. For me, I thought showrunner was like someone who gets coffees, gets teas. I think that's just a runner, not a showrunner. I think it's a huge difference. So this is someone who like basically oversees, I think, making the show. And they got a meeting with this guy, and again, I'm sort of just playing it down, like whatever. And I look up the guy, and he's like written for loads of British TV over the years. He did like the Kumars at Number 42, did Citizen Khan, which I didn't watch, so I don't know how good that is, and a couple other things. But he did 2 seasons of Armstrong and Miller, which was one of my favourite sketch shows growing up. I thought that show was so funny. If you've not watched Armstrong and Miller, to be fair, I don't know how it holds up. I don't know if it's still any good, but at the time, man, oh my God, I used to love it, bro. I used to find it so funny. I mean, I remember watching that and Harry and Paul, these sketch shows, and I was like, Harry and Paul was good, but Armstrong and Miller was sick. And he wrote on that. And so I'm on this Zoom call with him and with a couple other the producers that are working on it and stuff. And you know, he said he's not forced into saying anything. I thought, oh, okay, this is going to be like a bit of a pitch or like a bit of a like, oh, please, if you've got any time, work with it. And he said he really liked the script, and he said it was really funny. And I'm trying to like sort of savor moments more. And that was just like awesome that I remember so vividly sitting on my parents' couch watching Armstrong and Miller on the TV when I was, 15, 14. And then the idea that I would have in my head that one day I would like to do something like this, but thinking that'd be impossible. And then skipping forward to, being on a meeting with the guy who's not only read the script, not only read a script I've written, which is hard to get people to do that, but he's like, yeah, I really want to work on it. It seems really great. I can see it working really well. And the main thing was that he said it was funny. Because it's people who can read your scripts and they can say, yeah, I can see the potential. I can see how this works. Or they got their producer hat on and they're like, yeah, I can see how we could sell this. And that's fine. That's their job. That's fine. But like a comedy writer who's been working in British comedy for 20 years, reading my script and saying it's really funny. It was very exciting. I was like buzzing. Man. And then there's other bits and pieces this week that just have been amazing. Like I was doing my finances and I was just looking at what I'm earning now, doing what I love compared to what I used to earn, pretending that I cared in an office, like working an office job. And look, my office was really nice. People in there were really nice, really lovely. But I think about my wage now compared to then, and it's incredible that you get paid more to do something you enjoy more. And the only reason that happens is because you don't fucking take the deal. The deal is that you agree that, okay, I won't keep trying to pursue my dreams and passions and stuff. I'll work on this, and then you pay me now so I can live. But if you decide to think, right, I'm going to think long term, life's very long, I am passionate about something, I want to do something, and I'm be willing to earn less in the short term to make that my dream, then I'm a big believer. You can just do that. You can do that. And that's what I did. I took pay cuts to go and gig in basements and shit. Like, while my friends were earning more and more each year, I was earning less and less all through my 20s. And then about sort of 28, that's when it changed. And now I'm looking at it and I'm like, I can't believe that I was on that path. Like, why would I think that would make me happy, like that, those salary increases? Because not only now do I get to do what I love, but I'm looking at my accounts, doing my accounts and stuff, because you've got to do that when you're you work for yourself. You got to do your accounts. Obviously, you just backspace and deleting all the expense, all the income. I'm still on job seekers allowance, but yeah, I'm looking at that and I'm like, why? I mean, I can't believe it. It's like I'm looking at my dream come true, And then, as well, this week I had a sketch that did really well. It was like silly, it was funny, and it was just one of those where, I mean, I used to think that the sketches I had to do had to all be like just purely just relatable meme format silly stuff, which is fun, I like that, but the sort of higher concept stuff that I want to do, the sort of higher quality in terms of production, in terms of the concept, I always think, I'm going to do these things and people aren't going to like that, because people online, Instagram, TikTok, they just want really, really disposable stuff that just quick laugh, like basically jokes maybe they've heard before or something like that, just told in a different way. And then we did this one on The Quiet Place and being in a relationship, and shout out to my video producer now, Hamish. We've been working together for a couple of months now, and it's been great. Now we've had like 2 really big successes, and they're videos that I would never have done if not for him. So I want to shout him out. And I just got to, and I posted, I was like, I think this is funny. I like it. I think this is funny. I don't know how well it's going to do because it's a bit more abstract and stuff. And then it just blew up on Insta and TikTok. And I remember after the election, I woke up the next day and I checked my Instagram and I had 2,000 more followers. And I just went, yes! I literally said that in my bed. I sat up in my bed. I was like, yes. Because it was like gaining followers from doing something that I thought was really funny, that I care about. Like, that's the sort of comedy I would want to see, and just that feeling that like, yeah, I can make these things, man. I can make something that people would want to watch, and at the same time that relate to people, but also it's more in my head. Like, I have so many stupid fucking ideas in my head, man. So much weird stuff going on in there for comedy that I feel like, yeah, I could do more of that. I could do more of that sort of like original stuff, like weirder stuff, like because that's what I want to make. I want to eventually just make stuff in the future that's going to be its own show, that's going to stand alone. I want to make the sort of stuff that people will go back and watch again and again to cheer themselves up. Man, I remember vividly when I got my GCSE results and I thought I was going to smash it and I didn't, and I was so upset, and all my friends were doing better than me and I was like so upset. I was such a nerd, like I was proper, like this was a big thing for me. I thought I was just going to get like all A stars and stuff, and I didn't get anywhere near that, and I was so upset. I was crying, like my mum didn't know what to do and all that sort of shit, and it was just bad. And I remember I went home and I was supposed to go to a party that night. I was like, I don't want to go to the party, it was so stupid and all that sort of stuff. And I was just crying in my bed. I felt like such an idiot. So I felt like I fucked up so much, let everyone down, like, let my parents down, let myself down, all that. And then I remember, and this is obviously before like Netflix, right? This is like when I'm 16. So I remember just on Channel 4, they had Friends, and I was like, that was the first thing I sort of engaged with. I took a couple of hours and I just put Friends on. And I remember just having Friends on. And it's episodes I'd seen before, of course. And I was just watching Friends, and it was like, I just stopped crying. Just started, feeling a bit nicer about life and about the world. And I'd love to just like make stuff that just, people, that has that effect on people, has that effect on people's lives, And then to top it all off, man, like last night I was doing on TV. I was doing the stand-up sketch show, which I think a lot of people don't know, never heard of it. It's fine. Like, people in comedy know it. It's one of those things. It's on its 6th season. Like, people in comedy know it because it's quite an accessible way to get on TV. Even though it's in, like, it took me till the 6th season to get on. But like, basically, you do some stand-up and you do. It's based around a story so that they can like make it into a sketch, and so I did that last night. That aired, and it was after Love Island, and I just got these messages from my parents just like afterwards, and I kind of almost forgot it was on. I was just like, oh yeah, it's whatever. It's no one's gonna watch it, And my dad messaged me he said, sketch show was good. Even Moira agreed, well done. And my mum said, just so you're on the telly, well done, Alistair. And they both came one after the other. And even Moira agrees. Moira is my mum. So it's like, even she liked it. And to be fair, my mum's message doesn't say she liked it. Just saw you on the telly, well done, Alistair. Doesn't say, I thought it was great. But that's just her style. So I just was looking at those messages and just thinking like, fuck man, these guys, like my parents have been, they've been like so supportive of me throughout my life. Like I'm so lucky I've got like such a great childhood, and they allowed me to like, go do this but they're both supportive in different ways. Like my dad is like really just like optimistic and just thinks it's really cool what I'm doing, and like tells all his friends. I remember one time I went into his office to, I think we were doing some accounts together or something, and everyone in his office was like, it's a shared office, so they all got their own companies. Everyone in his office was like, oh, Ali, your dad talks about you all the time. Like your dad keeps talking about, you're a comedian, your dad never shuts up about you. And that's so sweet. My mom's like a different way, and she's supportive in that. Like if I need anything, if I like emotional support or like what, she would just do anything. She'd drop everything to do it for me, and just give me that that conviction of like that work ethic of just keep working, and just the idea that there's like, obviously they're getting on and that, so just that there's still around to like watch this and just feel like they can like they can see it and hopefully be proud. Like so much of genuinely what like I do is like to make them proud. And I remember like the first time I got to see it was like 2017, and I came second in this comedy competition. It was at Leicester Square Theatre, and they were there, and I got like a little certificate and got some money and stuff. And I remember that was the first time they looked at me, because at that point I just said like I want to do comedy, and I was doing open mics, and they were like, yeah, it's probably a hobby that he's gonna give up at some point. And they were just looking at me like, oh wow, like maybe you could really do this. And I just think it's really like that stuff's really cool. And like also as well, the comedy for me, like it was a long process, for me. Like when I started, I never had anyone saying like, oh man, like I love your stuff, let's make you a star. I never had any agencies, companies, production. No one would ever give me the time of day, reply to my emails. I'd see all my peers getting signed before me and all that sort of stuff. And it's just that belief that like I truly have, like life is such a long thing, and you just got to keep working at whatever you want to do. You just keep going at it, keep working at it, and you can just really, like, I know it's all very saccharine and sweet, but like you really can make your dreams come true if you're willing to like just keep going. It's been a good week, man. It's just like I'm trying to take stock in it, just trying to like be grateful for like where I am, because I know next week will be worse. Like that's just the way it goes. Like this is ups and downs all the time when you're sort of working for yourself, especially. It's not always just a simple trajectory, but I think I've got to take the wins. But this week's been like sick. So, and I want to thank you as well for like listening to this and supporting me. Like people that I met on the podcast, like Sophie that came to the show on Wednesday, Lofion, people who do that, and also donated to my Patreon to support me, to help with like, bigger projects, getting more people to make more videos and stuff like that. And, like everyone who listens to this, like I got a couple of comments from last week, Roxy, who's been a fan since day one, saying like, but we still want to move to New York. I have loved the back-to-back floral shirt, so here for it. Sorry, I'm wearing the England top today, Roxy, but there you go. But it's her birthday the other week, so I hope she had a good one. And also Arthur Joe Star 573, Brittany, again, another person who's been there since so early, like I don't date anymore either. Haha, all my emotional energy goes to Taylor Swift, which I think is probably the correct decision. I think it's probably smart. But again, yeah, it's all down to people like yourselves as well, and people who've always supported, friends and all that, all the people in my life. And I think, it's good. I think it's good to take stock on stuff, man. So I wanted to say that to you this week. And also I wanted to say, because so long I was scared I couldn't do what I do, because I just thought people were like born funny or born successful, born famous. And it's just, the longer I've done this, the more I've realised it's just not the case, man. You can just achieve anything if you're willing to sacrifice and work hard for it and think long term. So whatever you want to do, you can do it. Right, okay. Enough of that shoppy bullshit. Let's get into it. We've got a voice note this week. Just to finish off, we've got a voice note here with another struggle. So here we go.
Hi, Ali. This is Anna from Spain. Here's a question for the podcast. So I've been working with British people for ages now. And it is so hard to make like deep connections with you guys. I'm sorry. But in your opinion, why is it that in the country where you have like the best actors, the best comedians, the best entertainers, best literature, children's stories, why is it so hard for you guys to speak about emotions and to connect in that level? Okay, well, that's it. And thank you for the content and good luck for the Euro Cup. Cheers.
Thank you very much. And already through Spain in the Euros, so well done to you. A couple things there. So first one, well, let's try and roll it back and explain why maybe British people, English people don't like talking about emotions. It's not how we're raised. We're not raised to process anything. We're not raised to be sincere, to talk. We're raised to have a laugh and get drunk. That is what we do. That is what we do. So I think you have these actors and these comedians, all that, because we're a very economically developed country, so we have more finance to put into the arts and things like that, and like privately educated people. A lot of people who work in entertainment come from private education because of that reason, because they have the support base where they can not earn money for a bit. But then also you can just express your feelings through there, right? So you don't, if you're not walking around telling anyone that you love them, that you care about them, that they hurt you, that you hate them or anything, you can just make a play. You can just write some music. You can just do a joke like me. That's all it is. So that's where I think that comes from. In terms of the connecting with us Brits and English people in work, look, I think that there's a few followers I have from early days when I started doing sketches. I was doing some stuff about like British people and English people and some memes about that. And I think I've developed some of the followers from that who like live in the UK, not from the UK, don't really understand the culture, found it all bizarre, which, I can find it bizarre too as well. I am an emotional person. I like getting into deep conversations. That's not very English thing to do. I do like drinking, to be fair. So that's my heritage. But what I will say is, you can't impose your culture on another culture. I'm not going to move to Spain and be like, why is no one having Jaeger bombs and getting fucked up on a Friday night? Why is everyone sipping a glass of wine for 4 hours? Because that is your culture. That's what you're doing. So it's my job to get involved with that. I think it's a bit unfair to say English people can't do emotions. What's the point of talking to them? It's connecting on a different level, man. You got to go out with these people to spend time with them. Go for drinks. That's where it will come out. Go for see what. If you're not a big drinker, go for lunch. Something you got to give them some time and space, because it's not as developed as that. In the Mediterranean, you might be just getting all your emotions out, talking on a very deep level. But a lot of English people don't want to do that. That doesn't mean you're right. Doesn't mean you're right that you have to talk about emotional things. Doesn't mean they're right that they're bottling everything up. But it's a cultural thing. I think sometimes when we fail to be empathetic to the other side, we fail to see on the other side, then we think what we're doing is right and they're doing is wrong. And I think this is another one of those cases. These people will have emotions, they'll have thoughts and feelings and stuff like that. But it's not how we're raised to talk about that stuff when we're not absolutely pissed and drunk and on drugs and all that sort of stuff. So if you're willing to have drinks with people, then they may open up. If you're not, then that's fine. But you might just have to give it time, let them breathe. Because a lot of English people aren't going to sit there and have a coffee outside in a cafe and talk about what love is. Because this is not the vibe, man. You want to have an Aperol Spritz and you want to chat shit about the Euros, man. That's what it's about. So give people time, I'd say. Give people time. They'll open up, but you can't force it. You can't judge them, because these are very repressed people. And in the meanwhile, you've got lots of comedy and art to watch. But good luck with you, man, because I agree in that I'd love it if people were a bit more open. I personally love the deep conversation. I love just getting straight to it, but a lot of people aren't like that, and so that's fair enough. Right, this has been a frankly self-indulgent episode of the Ali Woods broadcast. I apologise for that, but thank you so much for listening. I hope you're all good. If you've got anything you want me to talk about on the podcast, any questions you've got or any struggles you're having, please let me know. Send in a voice note on Instagram and we can play it out and get to it. And also, if you would like to come to a gig, I've got gigs. I've got my last few gigs, work in progress, is for 3 weeks in mainly in London, one in Manchester as well. If you haven't bought tickets yet, it's all on my website, and I'll put the link in this description. And also, you can be like Lofion and subscribe to my Patreon to help support, help donate to keep all this running, keep the video quality high, and hopefully at this point we can maybe start doing clips with this podcast, maybe even start getting guests on, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, if you donate to that'd be great. All the money that goes into Patreon, believe me, it's all going to go back into this podcast. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. Look after yourself. Whatever you want to do, think long term. It can happen. Believe me. And look, I'll see you next time. Take care. Come on, England. Hopefully we're not kicked out by this point. But if we are, oh well. The world moves on. See you soon. I've been Ali Woods. Bye.